Hello, hello, hello. This is TajaEthereal with the Cam Model Podcast. Shit guys say to cam girls, sponsored by Boleyn Models, and today's guest is Miss Carleexo. Say hello, say hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so excited. I'm sorry I had to put you through the little test run, but I think we in business. I'm excited to talk to you, and today we're going to talk about little tips and stuff. Like you're a token based girl. Like what is your my free cam model mostly?
Well, primarily I'm on ChatterBait,
Oh
but
man.
I wanted to see how MFC ran compared to ChatterBait. So sometimes I'll split cam with both, which is kind of crazy. But primarily I'm on ChatterBait.
But you're looking to you just she just started with the Boleyn Models program, and you're wanting to get started on Streamate as well, just to test it out, private based sites, right?
Yeah, because everything I've heard about StreamMate seems like financially would be smarter to like invest your time there. So, but it's really overwhelming reading all the information
Yeah,
to
different
begin.
strokes for different folks. Because I know there are girls who are like who love token sites, and then there are people who like private based sites. Just real quick for anyone who's listening to this and they're like, "What are they talking about? Token sites and private based sites?" In case you never you're not a cam model, you're interested in becoming a cam model. You have sites like My Free Cams, Chatterbait, Cam4, probably a couple of other ones, but the big ones, those are the big two, Chatterbait and My Free Cams, where a performer, a model will log in and she live streams to like possibly like thousands of people at one time. And it's like a group room where you're just expected to entertain, kind of like YouTube Live or like Twitch, but you're allowed to get X-rated and get butt ass naked if you need to. If you are on Streamate, which is like a private based site, it's typically you can do group shows, but everything, all the naughty bits, all the freak nasty shit, all that happens behind a paywall. So some girls feel more confident when you're supposed to sit in free chat, you entertain and flirt, and you entice guys to click the button to go somewhere more one on one and etc. So Carlee, she's coming from the token world where people are free entertainers to big massive crowds, and she's interested in going to something smaller. Okay, I'm done running my mouth. Go ahead, tell me more about your agenda.
Well, I just from what I've read, isn't there a new model period or status?
Yes, there it's and this is something that's up for debate. Like, and it's pretty smart because you and I talked the other day, and you were saying that you were holding off on signing up because you didn't want to ruin your new model tag. That's what we call it. What happens is when you sign up, you get placed into a category where it's all new models, which a lot of guys they love fresh meat. So that will give you a lot of exposure because now you're in an additional category, a different page, a link that's highlighted on streamate.com. And this is where it gets debatable. Like some people were wondering, like, is it a 2 week period or is it a 30-day period? When you're in Boleyn Models, you do get that new model tag for 2 weeks. You would have a brand new account. Sometimes it's a little different when someone transfers in and they've already been on Streamate, but your account will be brand new, right?
It would be.
Yeah, so you would get put in a new model tag. Guys would see you, and that means basically you're gonna have high placement. Like, pretty much as long as you make, I think like freaking $10 an hour, which you're most definitely going to make a lot more. You're going to be on the front page. Depending on how much money you make per hour, you're going to be further up on that page because they give you a boost. So the more money, the more people you see, or more people see you, your chances of making money is even greater. So that's a really good thing. You don't want to waste it because if you sign up now, get approved, the clock starts from the minute you sign up. So yeah, you don't want to waste your new model status just researching people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to wait, and that's why I really saw the value with you guys, because I knew for a fact I didn't have any idea what I was freaking doing. Because I'm not like overly kinky. I mean, I guess to someone I'm kinky. I get naked on the interwebs, but I wouldn't even know like where to start, like how much to charge for feet or boobs or what a gold show is versus an exclusive. Like I think that's the verbiage. So
What are you like? I mean, when if you're on ChatterBait and you're like, do you get a lot of privates when you're on ChatterBait?
if I like promote them, but I prefer not to do privates because I tend to make more money being in the group setting than I would in a private.
So let me ask you. I mean, There's certain elements that you can take from token sites and you can apply it on Streamate. Like there are people like I used to actually some days I would make more money in free chat than I would getting a private show on Streamate. Just sitting there like hawking videos and flashes and stuff. So there's certain elements you can take from a token based site, but like typically I think whatever you want to charge for like flashes and stuff like that, think about what you were charging on Chatterbait. But of course, Chatterbait isn't necessarily, it's, you're kind of, I don't know, maybe you're asking for 50 tokens to go towards a goal, or maybe you want 150 tokens. Like, what would you ask for there and then do the math for Streamate? It's kind of how it would work, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of crazy because I change mine all the time because I like the Walt Disney theory. Like, if it doesn't work one way, just switch it. So sometimes I'll like charge real high one day to see if that works, or like I'll go real low. So I guess I probably do need to do the math on that.
Yeah.
Because it can be frustrating if you feel like you're doing things for pennies, which you never really are, but.
Well, I guess technically you can, like if guys are throwing 5 tokens at you and try to be, I hate when they like tip you like a token at a time. You're like, bitch, you're throwing a nickel at me. You're throwing 5 pennies at me right now.
I know, I feel that same way, but then I don't want them to think I'm ungrateful.
Girl,
but I'm like, just put it in one big lot and stop one tokening me, please. Because that noise can be like real irritating.
And it's so insulting. It's like Monopoly money. They think it's real money, but it's like whatever. But like on Streamate, everything is $1. Nothing can ever go less than $1. So,
so one gold is literally $1.
Yeah, it's $1. Yeah. Oh wow, you really, really are like.
See, I needed help.
That's like the whole point of this, because like I talked to her and I was like, this would be pretty cool to have a person who's brand new to Streamate. So like questions, because I always want to answer questions, but I'm not sure because I can't remember what it's like being new that much. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make a point that went to your changing your prices, and it's good to experiment, but you can't change it every day because you kind of have to set a pattern at least 3 days, test it out, because if let's say for instance you were charging really high one day and it doesn't work, then you go the next day you go really low. It could have just been a really fucked day, a really slow day, like people were all watching the World Cup or something, a big game in the World Cup. And then the second day when you go high prices, like when you want say 300 tokens for a flash, or in Streamate, because we're talking about Streamate, like I used to do $10 flashes.
Wow.
Like, fuck that $5 bullshit. Fuck that $3 bullshit. Because you think of what you're getting percentage wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like, So I would just ask for $10. And a lot of guys would sit there and do the math and stop and think, well, shit. They'll sit there because they are like, some of them are really cheap. And some of them are like, fuck it. I want to see those titties. They'll pay it. Or they'll just say, you know what? I might as well just take her private. I'm like, that's right. Just take me private.
It's simple, men.
Yeah, you don't want to make those flashes too low. You know what I mean? Like, no shade on those girls who like $3, $1. Okay,
it's hard because it wears on you.
Maybe it is definitely a little shade. Like, what the hell are you doing? Raise them prices to get those titties out or whatever it is you're doing. But
somebody will pay it. I've learned. Like, you just have to put the time in.
Right, and then also if you constantly change and fluctuate your prices, there are guys who will keep their eye on you, and they'll remember, like, oh, we can haggle her. We can wear this bitch down.
It's not Tuesday fappy hour, I guess. So
yeah. So like, because they don't always log in to your chat room. They will watch from the outside. You know what I mean?
See, they're just as smart as we are sometimes.
They'll watch from the outside. They'll be like, she got them discount titties today, or I'm going to get that discount.
Oh my God.
I'm dead serious. They do it. I mean, why not? So like they'll scoop in. They used to tell me that stuff like that. Like I remember I dropped my price because I don't know what it was. It was one time in particular. It was a while ago. I dropped my hourly rate because I generally charge about $5.99 an hour on Streamate.
Is that high?
Huh?
Is that high for Streamate, or is that pretty medium?
You know what? That's like, I mean, I think that's pretty like middle of the road. But it depends on the category. There are a lot of girls on there who, oh gosh, this is crazy. Like, you're a BBW, right?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to find that in that BBW category, which is a very, very competitive category. There are a lot of people who charge a little low, and I don't quite understand the concept. Just because you're a BBW, that you think that people are you're less desirable, or I don't know, but they'll go like $4. Like I wouldn't recommend that. I would not go less than $5.
Okay.
Nine. Some girls will go up to $9.99. There are girls who will ask to have their prices raised to like $19 a minute. I'm like, go ahead, power to you, girl, but I'm not doing that. But I stick around like $5.99, then I might drop it to $4.99 every once in a while. But it's so weird because I'm losing my train of thought because I'm thinking about the people who like go really, really low on their prices. Only they know why they charge what they charge, right?
Yeah.
They know what they need, what they require, what they want to make for a living. For all I know, they might have multiple people in a group chat. So if they're charging like $3, $4 in group chat and they get like 3 guys at a time, then they're making more than I am at $5.99 with one person, you know? But
See, I didn't even know you could have multiple people in there. So that's like way more profitable than a token site.
yeah, yes, like you can have, okay, so there is there's private and there's exclusive. So private is basically group. That means that multiple people can come in. Typically when you get like a private, your private price, most people charge less for that, because it's a group. It's not a one-on-one exclusive show. Exclusive is one-on-one. Me, typically, I do a lot of fetish type stuff. So I tend to cater to people who want one-on-one shows. I never really did that well when it came to that. So for that reason, I sometimes charge less money for my exclusives to make sure that like I might charge $5.99 for exclusive and then charge $7.99 for a private.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Just so the guys are forced. They have no other choice
So they're very
go
enticed to
to
pay the
go
other.
one on one. There's another little trick, something that you can avoid by doing that. I don't want to give away that little trick, but there's something that we talk about as care models on Streamate. I'll tell you that privately. Why a lot of us do that, remind me later, and then I'll tell you why. But there's benefits to having your exclusive rate lower than your private. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways, and there's goal shows.
But you don't get that right away, right? From what I understand.
Nah, you let's see, when did I start? A couple of years ago. I had to request it. Some people, like if they're kicking ass like right out the bat, you're making a lot of money, they'll give you the option to increase your rate, because I believe you're only allowed to raise your price to like $5.99 a minute when you first start out. But then once your hourly rate, which is the major influencer when it comes to your placement, is how much you're making per hour. Once you exceed a certain amount of money, they'll give you an option. You'll log in, they'll be like, hey, you are now eligible to raise your prices to $9.99 a minute. Sometimes you might have to submit an email to request goal shows or to increase your rate. You can send one to liz@streamate.com, or you can send one through the ticket system. But those guys are like monkeys answering the phone, or you know?
I'm used to that. So what is a gold show compared to like a private or exclusive? I mean, I understand that one is like one person, the other could be a group, but
Okay, so this is what a gold show is. A gold show on Streamate is similar to Chatterbait. You know how you have like the apps or the bots that what is it? Oh my gosh, a group shows when people have to chip in
yeah.
for like a major goal, and then you're doing a countdown, and then once the goal is met, everyone else who didn't chip in gets kicked out, and everyone else goes on to the paywall to the private show.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? What do they call
Yeah,
it?
a ticket show, I
A
think.
ticket show. There it is.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. I couldn't think of that word. A ticket show. A goal show is the same thing, except there's a countdown. Typically, it's not as long on Streamate. Like you can set your goal show to a minute countdown, 20-minute countdown. Most girls, I think, do like a 5-minute to 10-minute countdown. And once they hit that goal, like let's say they want a goal show for like a $300 goal, they'll set the timer for like 10 minutes, and it's like $5 to get into the goal show, $10, whatever they want to set it. You can see the ticker goes down, it gets you closer and closer and closer. They do like a pre-tease, like for that 10 minutes that they're waiting. And once that goal is met, they now have to click the show starts. Some girls will click to start the show ahead of time before they meet the goal, because they're just like, fuck it, let's just do this, you know? And usually what that does is a lot of guys will get excited and they're like, oh man, I don't want to be sitting out here. So, because they always wait to the last minute to throw in their money. So you can just click it to start the show and then they'll start tipping in afterwards. So that's what a goal show is. And what you're doing is you're performing for a large group of people. So let's say the highest tipper gets to run the show. Like, you know, someone basically bought the whole freaking show. Like they put in $50, everybody else just put in $5. You definitely are going to want to kind of cater to that person as long as it's within your reasons, your own personal terms of service.
Okay.
Yeah, like you don't want a guy telling you to do a handstand and shit like that just because you tip $50 or to put your foot in your mouth or some bullshit. You know what I mean? But like clearly if it's within stuff that you are comfortable with doing, then they become Mr. Gold Show. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you ignore everyone else, but like, yeah, that's kind of what it is. So they typically, when you first, like I said, when you first start on Streamate, you don't get those right away, but some people do. I had to ask. Like I had been on there for like 3 months and I'm like, what the fuck? But what I found out is that as excited as I was to get gold shows, they didn't work out as well for me as they did all the other girls I had watched for like months, you know what I mean? I just didn't have as much luck. So what I started doing to, rather than wait for like 100 guys to get me to a $300 goal, I started doing like $100 goals with $25 buy-ins.
That's really smart.
So I could get 4 guys to put up $25 for a show. And I can hit $100 goal. So that's usually what I used to do when I did goal shows. Like, and guys were like, what the fuck? Why are you asking for $25 to get in this show? I'm like, bitch, it's a 10, 15 minute show. You can either pay $25 to get in on this show, or you can pay me $6, $7 a minute for a private show that's, you know, for 10 minutes or some bullshit. You do the math, so shut up, you know?
Yeah. No, that's really smart. Okay.
Yeah, it's people sometimes don't realize that there's so much flexibility and so many different things that you can do. Hold on one sec. So sorry, it was a siren going by. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting arrested.
No worries.
The ghetto. I'm just kidding. I don't live in the ghetto, but so yeah, there's so many different things that you can do with Streamate. Like you can almost take like a token site hustle and use it on Streamate for sure.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So it sounds more like you have a lot of room to do things that works better for like that particular person.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the biggest
like, can you go wrong in Streamate? You know what I mean? Like, there's things you can do wrong on token sites, but are there like things like you would say, don't ever do this?
Don't show your pussy. No pink.
Okay. Only in like the privates, right?
Only behind that paywall.
No pun intended, but
yeah, there you go. Show your privates in private. That's pretty much how it goes. But the rule is no pink. Now, this is the controversial thing because there are a lot of people who spend all their time like policing other cam models. Like, ugh, get a life, you know. But
I know, right?
Get a life, man. But they'll complain about like, oh, this girl puts her fingers on her panties, or this girl is showing a little too much lip, or whatever. And the truth is, you might actually find yourself getting in trouble from Streamate by something, and then someone else doesn't. Who knows why? Because sometimes it's like the girls who are at the very top, the top girls, actually do get in trouble, and they will like suspend you for a day or however long the offense was for. And then some people, it just may never happen. So basically, nothing below the waist. Like, you can show your butt, but you can't show any pink. No pink. That's it.
Good.
Or no pink or no stink, like somebody else said. Not the butthole either. You can show titties. You can do deep throat. You can put a toy on the outside of your panties, but you can't take those off, pull them to the side. None of that. You can't get really kinky. And in a way, that's really good because that helps you tease people into a paid show. It's some girls don't show any like boobs at all. Like I don't, but that ain't me because I like pulling mine out. So
I do too. I'm like, sometimes even if people don't flash, I'm like, whoops, sorry guys.
you got. I mean, sometimes you got to. Remember, you want to have fun, and I hope like most people. Oh, I know that's not true, but I hope that like if you're a cam model, you kind of are kinky, right? Or
Yeah, that's what I was
you
going to
like
say. I was
being
like, I don't know how I
naked.
could say that because I'm a total exhibitionist, but I don't like fist my butthole or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh
I
man,
consider myself vanilla-ish.
did you say fisting? Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
can't.
No, no, like I'm not trying to knock anybody that does it. I don't fetish shame, but I just don't put my fist in my butt.
That is so funny. I can't. I turn into like a 12-year-old when somebody talks about fisting because it's just like so crazy. It's one of those things that just makes me go ah! Like
I know.
literally like scream whenever I like come across someone on social media, like who is into that sort of thing. I just like typically run, not just fisting in the butt, but vag. Any fisting at all just makes me like cringe, pucker up, ball up into the floor, and cry. You know
Yeah,
what
I'm
I
too
mean?
empathetic for it. Like I can feel it, I think.
I know. I'm like, props to you, girl. Like, I don't know how you. What? Okay. Anyway, that's enough. I got like the last time I saw the last image I saw. It's like in my brain right now, thinking about fistings. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, we all have like our limits and so forth. But oh yeah, so free chat. Something else you don't ever want to do in free chat is you gotta be careful because I had got suspended for this. They're very strict. This is where I have a problem with Streamate. This is my biggest beef with Streamate. Is the social media. Not being able to list like, hey guys, you can't even mention Twitter, Instagram, your kick, none of that. This guy asked me in a paid show, which is I wonder if I was being set up. Obviously it's being set up or they typed kick. Do you have kick? And I didn't type, I responded. No, I don't do that, but I have Instagram. If you want to see my pictures when I'm not online, you can look at my Instagram. And then I finished the show, and then I got this notice that said, your stream has been stopped by an administrator. So
What
I'm
the
like, the
heck? So they're
fuck?
super strict. Well, if somebody asked and you're like, I don't know, like a delicate way of saying like we can't do that, would you still get in trouble?
You know what? Like, this is what you do. This is what you don't do. Don't type the words Twitter or any of your social media. Don't you type it. If they want to type it, that's fine. If you type back, you can say something like, oh, I don't do that. Or say, like, call their bluff and be like, we're not allowed to share social media. Type it in the chat because they can go back and check it. So if somebody's watching your stream and they go, oh, well, this person just shared their social media, at least you can point to that point. Like, okay, I can say at this time, this is where I said it. It sounds kind of crazy. And I wish they would, like, really, really lighten up on that because they're afraid of traffic leaks. And it's really dumb. I think that if you keep your performers happy, they're going to be loyal. They're going to be loyal. You
I
know what I
agree.
mean? So, I mean, and there's so many people, like, for instance, they want you to drive your traffic from your social media to the website, right? But
But
you
you're not
can't.
supposed to be talking about it?
Yeah, it's very selfish. That is the biggest gripe I have with them. I wish they would lighten up. It doesn't like they're doing it anytime soon, but yeah, that's the one thing you do not want to ever mention it because if you get caught and if someone is watching you and policing you, and like we said, there are a lot of people who police other cam models. They'll like turn you in and then boom, they won't kick you off. They like what happened to me is I got like a 24-hour suspension, but I actually got reinstated within an hour because I responded to the email right away, like the fuck, it was a mistake, it was a misunderstanding, I didn't offer it, I didn't realize, blah blah blah, and within an hour, they lifted the ban, so I was able to get back on and keep working.
Well, that
So
seems pretty fair. Because I'm on, I don't want to
yeah,
say the name, but one of the sites I'm on, they're like notorious for banning you for nothing.
oh I know what
So
site that is, girl. We already said the name, honey. We already talked about
I know, but I'm very
that.
careful about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I was
What
talking
about if you
about
send videos though? Because aren't you guys able to send them now or sell them?
no. Okay, here's another thing. They changed that. It used to be like you could host your links, your videos, and then send them links to the videos. directly? I'm glad you're asking these questions because these are the type of things that when I write my articles or people ask me for help or something, that's the type of stuff that doesn't come to my mind because I keep thinking about if you're a newbie, new to the site, what would you think about? So these are good questions. You're not allowed to share off-site links. Now they have their own hosting. So now you can upload your videos to Streamate and send the videos to customers that way. So they have like a video on demand service now. So before we would use things like Project Maynad, which they had gotten approvals, explicitly from Streamate to be able to use that service. No more. And this has only been a new rule for like 2 months now, I think. Something like that. Yeah.
I'm glad I asked that then, because like some of my videos are watermarked where when I was dumb and I would put like the Twitter bird and like everything on there, and I guess I'm glad I asked so I didn't extend it. You know what I mean?
I don't even know. Like they're supposed to, all videos that you put up there are supposed to be approved. So someone has to look at it. So I have to get back to you on that one. So do a test run when you get signed up and you get ready to go. Upload your video, and if it gets approved with those watermarks on it, hey, oh well, you know what I mean.
Wait, I have a crazy question. You're gonna think I'm nuts. I have a Frenchie and an English Bulldog. Aren't they super strict too about like if your animal accidentally walks behind you? From what I've heard.
Yeah, that's another one. I have my dog is sitting here right next to me. I'm really good about like there've been a few instances over the years where he may have popped his head up on a stream, but they're not gonna like go ape shit. I don't think if like say if you have a cat, which is really difficult with cats,
Yeah.
because a cat could be like walking around, you don't even know your cat's in the background. That's
You
fine.
hear an English Bulldog for sure.
Yeah, you'll hear and you'll feel it. So yeah, I think because I've seen girls like before, like like have to shoo their animals away, or they'll say, "Hold on, guys, let me get up and pick my dog, my cat, and put them in the other room." They're not gonna come after you for that. But if you're sitting there chilling with your dog or your cat, like on the stream, then yeah, you're probably gonna they're probably gonna like ban you for a day or something, give you a warning.
Okay.
They're not gonna just kick you off and say like, no, 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 you're freaky, you were doing things to your dog. No, obviously not. But they'll give you a warning. But they're not that strict. I think for the people that I know of who got in trouble, they were habitual offenders of that rule. Like constantly had cats in the room.
Okay. And then I remember hearing before on another podcast you did about how important it is to have a computer that has like proper RAM storage, and then something about an encoder, and I was like, that is totally Chinese to me. I didn't even know where to start with that.
Okay, the encoders. Encoders are basically it's like software that will help your stream appear more HD, high definition, because without them, it's not as sharp. It's not HD. So some softwares like OBS, which is my favorite. I use OBS Classic, which is old school. They have the OBS, the more updated one, and then I like Classic because it uses less CPU, less RAM, and so forth, and it's just not as bulky as the other one. There's split software, but then that you can use, and it just streams everything out, works out all the kinks. It measures your bit rate. Am I still speaking another language right now?
No, it totally makes sense because I didn't realize like OBS or like mini cams or whatever was an encoder.
Manicams is just a splitter.
Okay.
That's something different. There's Manicams, there's a splitter, there's very soft webcam splitter. That's the one I use. I think it's better than Manicam, but some people disagree, whatever. OBS is something totally different. They used to have the original, like the encoder that we first started out working with. Actually, Streamate has an option where you can use the browser. You don't even have to use an encoder. But if you don't use an encoder, your placement goes down. Like you might find yourself like on the 4th, 5th page. You might be like out there in fucking Mars and nobody knows you exist.
Yeah, I would not want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, especially if you're brand new. You don't want to waste your new girl tag like chilling on the 5th page. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make any money because I've had situations where I had internet problems where I was like, it is what it was. So I had to just use the browser version, and I still like could pull like $100, but it might take me like 7 hours to make $100. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man,
You ready?
that
You
would be
ready
hard.
to? You be ready to kill everybody after 7 hours and $100. But I mean, you do what you gotta do. But it worked out because I was also in like 4 or 5 different categories. So guys who, for instance, who really like big girls, they're gonna find me in BBW. If they like black girls, they're gonna find me in Ebony. If they like, crazy enough, like once you're over 30, they put you in a mature category.
I know that is so offensive to me.
Like, or MILF or something, some crazy shit like that. I was like, what? Like, So I think I was in, and oh yeah, the big city category. So you end up in these different categories. So if you don't have an encoder, guys will still find you if you are in multiple categories. But you want to be on that first page. You definitely want to be on the first page, and the way to get there is to have an encoder. So you can use the one that they created specifically for Streamate, which is called the Streamate broadcast, SM broadcast. They even have a Mac version, so you'll be good.
Okay, so it's I don't know. Now I think I made it like way more complicated than it needed to be because it makes more sense now. And then so I was like, I just pulled up somebody's Streammate that I've watched before, Daytona Hill, and as far as like how important is it to like put what my real turn-ons are or my expertise? Do people really look at that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, they do. And also, what you want to do is if you're doing a fetish or something that's really maybe obscure or something that you want to put it in your profile. You want to put as many keywords as you can because when a person types in a search word, you'll pop up. That's what tags are important.
Oh, okay.
You want to ask guys to tag you, send them private messages like say, give me the bubble butt tag, give me the whatever thing that describes you, blue eyes or something like that. You want to put as descriptive words as you can in your profile because that will help you stand out. And if you offer something like say CBT, maybe a lot of people don't have that written in their profile. You'll show up in those searches, and you might want to put that search term at least 3 times in your profile.
See, valuable information. I would never have written that because on Chatterbait, I don't even have a profile. I know that's crazy, but
What? How did?
well, I just don't know how to. And then I wouldn't. I don't consider myself very creative when it comes to that. So I'm like, what would I put? Like I'm quirky, but I don't know how to like translate that into like something organized.
You could just say, "Hey, I'm quirky. This is my profile."
Give me your monies. So
Yeah.
no, but
Girl, I could help you with that later on, like, cause I love doing shit like that, like character development. And at least that's what I consider. It's character, like getting into a persona and creating things like that. So if you want, like later on, just give me a
may
couple of
regret
words,
telling me
descriptions,
that
favorite
later.
colors. What's that?
You may regret telling me that later, but I will totally take you up on
Well,
that.
maybe not later tonight, but
No, I know. No, because I'm always like, I love learning. So even in Chatterbait, like I constantly go on like the Amber Cutie forums to see what different people are doing.
yeah,
I just don't
that's
like to
one
be
of the.
stagnant.
Oh yeah, well that's another thing. Like I actually didn't know about all the forums when I first. I had been in the business for several years, and um, I think that was like a blessing for me because I was getting I started my hustling just by working, doing things. Everything I did in the beginning was a total mistake. I fucked up so bad, and but I didn't have anybody to like tell me I was fucking up that bad and no one to make me feel guilty about it. And then when I had these amazing ideas, I realized looking back on it now, like if I had been on the internet forums at that time, I may not have tried as hard. I might have like second guessed what I was doing. So sometimes I like, okay, I'm actually on stripper web, right? Sometimes I think when people are brand new and they interact on forums, they might get discouraged because some of the veterans might be a little negative. Sometimes the people who tend to hang out on internet forums all day long might be a little negative and like because they're stuck in a world where things used to work the way they were and they don't work that way anymore. So forums are good to learn things, but get there, read the information, and then jump and go get to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt for sure. Because
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I read, I'm like, what are you thinking saying that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like you can get inspiration, but sometimes I that's just me though. Like I said, like I had probably been in the business for like 4 or 5 years before I even knew that there were places that you can go to like talk about ideas. Like my first internet forum, they don't even have those shits anymore. Talk about being a OG and this shit. It was like I think it was called the Yuki boards. YUKI? Yuki
I've never heard of
boards.
that.
I know. It's like they changed the name now because I went looking for it, my old profile from a couple of years ago, like years ago. And they've actually, Yuki boards has been changed and turned into something completely different. But they used to be like phone sex forums and stuff like that. Like that's where I like got my first start. And then I realized like, oh, there's stripper web and all this other stuff was like years after that. But like, man, the first boards that I was on, I remember like having these ideas like, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna type it out because everyone is gonna hear this idea and they're gonna be like, girl, that is the shit. That's a bomb ass idea. They're gonna celebrate my ideas. Whoop whoop. You know what I'm saying? And then they would be like, that's like lame. That's dumb. That'll never work. And you're like, huh? What?
I know that is discouraging, but I just do it anyway. I'm like, if I fail, I fail. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's not
I would
me.
start. It would happen. I'd be like, what do you mean it's not gonna work? Fuck you guys. You're negative.
Right?
So I would go and I stopped paying attention. So I would just go and then I think that was like my motivation because I didn't even know what I was doing. I just did it. And some of the stuff still works to this day. That's how a lot of the stuff I found out about SEO. So it's good that you're asking questions. Use the boards, but don't get too invested. Just it's better to just get online and learn. You know, you probably learn the hard way. You might actually give a free show away every once in a while.
I've actually had members probably give me better advice or teach me more than I like learned from veteran cam girls. And
Sometimes,
I'm
yeah,
lucky.
they can be good, but then you can be. You gotta be. It's like a balance. You gotta be careful with those too because some of those
Like, what's
guys
your
are like,
agenda kind of thing?
yeah, you gotta find out what's going on. Like, I'm, like, are you helping me out because you want to, train me and like, train me to be the cam model that you want me to be? Or are you genuinely just trying to help out? Because some guys, you can get them to do coding for you. You can get them to be your hype boy on Twitter or some shit.
I have a few of those. And I'm
Exactly.
lucky.
So
But then
it's
sometimes there's the crazy ones that think they own you after that. And I'm like, no, that's not how this
uh
works.
so yeah, you're smart. You know what to do. You know what's up. But like, yeah, you got guys who will like offer you so much information, but they're really just jacking off while they're helping you do shit.
Oh, God.
Like,
Yes.
can you check my audio? How does my audio sound? Can you check my new Yeti? I just got this new Yeti. Do you like this microphone? And they're like, oh, yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be like, are you listening to the audio to the true story? I'm not making that up. This is a true story. But yeah, can you just test my audio for me? And they're like, you don't hear anything for a while. And you're like, dude, are you there? Are you there? And you're like, oh man, you just came. You fuck. You
Well, see, I
suck.
don't think that way. I'd be like, oh, is my sound not working? So, like, I'm somewhat gullible when it comes to that. I probably shouldn't even say
Yeah.
that. But
Nah, it's
no,
all
it's
good,
very
girl.
true.
It's okay. But like everybody has like a little soft spot and stuff like that. But yeah, like the number one thing I think to be really successful to like and of course successful is relative because your idea of successful might be making $500 a week, might be $1,000 a week, it might be $2,000 a week, it might be 15,000 a month. It's all relative, right? But in order to reach whatever that level of success that you want, it's best to trust your own instincts. Try as hard as you can to do your own thing and be creative. You have to stand out from everyone else. And in some way, like you can watch a million different streams and like how a person does something, but if you do exactly what they're doing, that doesn't mean you're going to make money. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to put your own personal spin on things. Like, you gotta have to do it your own way. Like there are people that I've watched over the years that that I love. Like I give Ola 18 a shout out because I love her buck wild crazy ass. Then there's Nikki Spade. I love her. But those are two totally different people, not just physically, ethnically, but their hustle styles are very different from one another. So it's like I like for instance, like Nikki Spade, I love the way she talks the entire time about money. She is there to make money. We are here to hit a goal. This is what I am here for. You know what I mean? And she flirts the entire time. And then you got the other one who's like sexy, mean, talking shit, you know, kinky, but then she still talks about money too. So it's like, do I want to be like this person on this extreme? I want to be like that person on that extreme. I can take bits and pieces of what I learned from watching her and a bit of from what I learned from watching her, and then I can apply it to my own style. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think try to do your own thing. You can be inspired. Everyone is inspired by somebody, right? But
I love watching people. It's like territory analysis to me.
I used to. I don't get a chance to watch cams as much as I used to, but yeah, it can be fascinating to watch people. It's like TV. It's like fucking reality television.
Right?
You know
I mean,
what
I'll be in the bathtub and I'll be watching it sometimes, and I'm like, probably a little embarrassing, but whatever.
Yeah, especially if the person's like entertaining, because you know, because like there's so many different types of cam models. Like they're the ones who are total exhibitionists. You have ones who talk dirty. Then you have ones who never use profanity, who are just totally like sweet as like ice cream. You're just like, you would, if they dropped the F-bomb, you would be surprised. You know what I mean? But they're still rocking and making money. Then you have some who don't take any of their clothes off, and but they're still, people are logging in. People are tuning in to watch them do their thing. Then you have some who sit completely naked.
That's never been my hustle to do that.
Yeah. There's some people who are just like, but you're watching them and people are throwing down money, especially on token sites and stuff like that. But like, they're not, you know, typically in my mind, I'm like, I want you to pay me to take my clothes off. But it's like, you're sitting there like, how the fuck is she making money? But like, I watched this girl, I cannot remember her name. She was on my free cams. Like, I don't mind giving people shout outs. I won't ever say anything negative about anybody on this podcast. But if I like you, I will give you a positive shout out. You know what I mean? This one girl in particular, I cannot remember what her fucking name is. But I watched her and she was working on an engine.
Wait, a car engine?
Yeah. She's
what the heck?
Naked.
That's cool, actually.
That's what I'm saying, right? And she had like all these people in her room. I cannot remember. I'm gonna have to. When I write up the article about it, I might mention her because I can see her and she's usually at the top, so I'm sure I can find her. But yeah, she's butt ass naked and she's like got gloves and tools and she's sitting there cleaning an engine and working on it. Now, if she's actually really doing anything, I don't know. But from what it sounded like, what the people were writing in her chat room, she knew what she was doing. So
that's so impressive to me.
Because you know, like these guys are gonna know that. Or there was this one other girl who she was on ChatterBait, and this couple years ago, I liked watching her too. I suck at the names, man. She was taking her clothes off while she was working on her own sex machine. Her like, you know, the sex machines you can have with the it had an engine too, and she was constructing it, putting it together. Then
like the fuck machine.
A fuck machine, yeah, there you go, a fuck machine. She was making her own fuck machine, and then there was another girl who was sitting there semi-naked while she was building a computer. So yeah, and people were tipping her like a fucking GoFundMe, like for the hot girl who's putting a computer together. I'm like, what? I can put a computer together.
You guys love when you have brains, though. I mean, I think a lot of girls forget that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not always about like how many baseball bats I can fuck, or if I can fit my hand in my mouth.
That's so funny. I'm like, I'd rather talk about sports and show you my titties.
You know, Naomi Courtney, she's another girl who does the podcast quite a bit with me. She watches like college football a lot. So a lot of the stuff on her social media has a lot to do with sports and so forth. So
I love that part.
It can be different things. So hold on one second, okay?
Sure.
Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Hey, listen. I'm going to have to cut this one really, really short because something just came up. I'll be truthfully my dog. I have a sick dog, so
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
have to tend to him. We got this at a really good spot. We're about 44 minutes in. So, sorry I have to run, guys. But if anything and everything goes well, I'll get right back with you, okay?
Sure, I hope everything's okay.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.